So imagine this. You just got home from camping and you had a grand old time. You know, you slept under the stars because they didn't let you bring a tent. You know, you made friends, you had a great time. And then you come home and you want to play your favorite $40 game where you kill bugs and stuff like that. Guess what you get? Fuck! My hard drive for some reason decided to shit itself and die while I was at camp. So yeah, basically it deleted all the game files and I had to restart again. I'm not making an entirely new game like I have done in the past. This time I'm just sticking to what I had and doing things a little differently, but it's the same game premise and same end goal. Alright, also sorry for not uploading in like 3 months. Again, I had the hard drive issue and I've also had a job, which is fun, but you know, it's taking up a lot of my time. But yeah, you know, it's pretty fun and I still get to make games. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the devlog. So first off, I just want to let you guys know, for every devlog I upload, I'm going to post a public demo build of sorts for people to test out and give feedback for the various, you know, things I implement. Right now, I already have one posted, but by the end of the devlog, I'm going to post a new one which will have all the new features you've seen me working on in this video. Okay, so the first thing that I made regarding movement is sliding. You know, it's very simple. If you're moving faster than walking speed, like you're sprinting or you know you're in the air or something, and you press the left control button, you'll go into a slide, which, you know, it's a slide. There's not really much to say about it. However, if you're moving slower than walking speed, or no, if you're moving slower than sprinting speed, like walking or just not moving, then you'll go into a crouch, which will just shrink you to about half height and allow you to walk under things. Next thing I added is a you know, basic dashing system. Basically, once the player presses E, they get launched pretty far in whatever direction they're looking at. The player basically gets 2 of these, and it allows them to chain it with a double jump to like make really far distances and go pretty fast. But yeah, basically you only get 2, and they reset if you touch the ground or like land or anything like that. Next up is a basic weapon system. It's pretty different from the one that I had implemented previously, but basically what it did is just, you know, it works similarly. You know, you can select a weapon and it'll spawn in your hand, but the actual code is different. Basically, it's an inventory system, but instead of it just being given to the player, I can give it to enemies and NPCs and such, and it allows them to have like custom weapons that they can drop, and yeah, it's apparently supposed to be more effective or efficient than what I had. So yeah, thanks to Airsoft over at Esoteric Games for showing me how to set this up. It works really well, and I'm happy. Around this time, I started adding effects to the rifle. Basically, it was just some sound effects that I had gotten off the Unreal Engine Marketplace. I don't know what happened, but the pack that I used is no longer available to get. I don't know what happened, but it works pretty well for what I have, and yeah, basically it's a lot. Once the sounds got working, I started adding in some particle effects from the same pack. I added it to the muzzle of the weapon that I was using and the impact point where the line trace hit. For the most part, the weapons are going to be hit scan except for a few which are going to probably be projectile based. I also added in particles for the shotgun, but completely forgot to give it sound effects, so it's going to be silent until the next build. Next, I started working on the player HUD. Up until this point, it had basically been the build version and an ammo count. First thing I gave was a crosshair, which just allowed the player to, you know, look down and shoot without having to like completely guesstimate where the line trace was going to go, which was a major issue in the first build. So that actually ended up working pretty well. Then I added in a health part screen, which is pretty self-explanatory. It just has a health number and it goes down or up depending on what the health is. Around the time too, I started working on the turret. Basically, I just want the turret to look at the player and shoot out line traces at a certain speed. But while implementing this, I had a few problems. Why is it short? Okay, that's sort of what I want. No, it's choppy now. You spin me right round, baby, right round. But eventually, I got the turret to actually look at the player correctly, and the next thing that I added in was a shoe. Ugh, what the hell? Okay, I fixed the shooting, and now it shoots at an actual good pace, and it also damages the player. If the player gets at or below 0 health, then they die. But that also introduced some new issues. Apparently, when the player died, then they wouldn't have their weapon despawn. The player would despawn, but the weapon wouldn't. So that was a pretty easy fix. But yeah, when the weapons wouldn't despawn, it would just leave giant, massive weapons. It looked kind of cool to begin with, but I had to get rid of it, sadly. So yeah, that sucks. And now, lastly, probably my favorite feature that I added in for the gameplay portion is wall running. This is probably my favorite feature. It also took the longest to implement. I actually found a tutorial on YouTube from a guy who did it like Titanfall wall running, and it worked out really well. I'll leave a link to the video if anybody's interested. But basically, I just followed that tutorial and tweaked a few settings that didn't work how I wanted it to. And wall running now works. It works really well, and you can jump off the walls, and once you do actually start a wall run, then you can double jump again and you regain 1 dash. So that works really well. The next thing that I had to do was update the levels. By this point I had 3 levels: the main menu, the tutorial level, and the sandbox world. The main menu is pretty easy. That stuff's actually going to come later. But the tutorial and sandbox world, I just had to add in some walls and stuff for wall running. And in the sandbox world, I actually set up this cool little Tower of Doom thing. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, it's basically like a Doom Spire, and you just go up and shoot a bunch of targets and stuff. And my goal with it was to like give players something to practice on, you know, practice movement and shooting. But yeah, all in all, I think it looks pretty cool. I got to use some of the new Unreal Engine 5 features that I hadn't actually used before. It was kind of tricky to learn, and they changed up the whole level design system, which I was not ready for. But I think it ended up looking pretty damn cool. And lastly, in the main menu, I set it up so that then the enter names game video didn't play every time the main menu is booted up. That was a really easy fix. And then I added in a change log that every time a demo is released, it will have whatever changed for that version. So this one just included all the changes, and it came out pretty well. If you want to play these demos for yourself or just stay up to date with how the development's coming, go ahead and join the Discord server. I'll leave a link to that in the description too. But yeah, basically, once we get a few demos out, I'm going to make a list of different demo versions that everybody can download and play through if they want to. Anyways, I would like to thank you guys for watching. I know, again, this one was pretty short, but I just wanted to get something out to update players on how it is, because if I were to wait until I just remade everything, it would have taken so much longer, and yeah. So anyways, again, I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.